Hello everyone, so this is my first video. I've been wanting to make this video for a while now. Now with James Gunn and Peter Safran being the Kevin Feige of the DC division they're making over at Warner Brothers, I knew I had to make this video sooner rather than later. As you can tell by the title, this is my version of a rebooted DC universe. I made this list a while ago, probably a bit after the Snyder Cut came out. I basically wanted to make a new DC from the ground up that could really bring a lot of DC characters I thought would be fun or that the fans would like to see, but I also wanted it to be new and fresh, but still be something that new fans who don't know DC or comics can get into, as well as old fans. Basically, Phase 1 will start out by introducing us to the world and some big characters. It'll mostly be HBO Max projects, mostly since at the time I made this, HBO Max was all the talk, but we would still get 2 theatrical films in this phase. This phase is really setting up a world inspired by DC Comics that isn't a direct copy and paste from the comics. So there was quite a few things in Phase 1 that were changed from what most fans would probably expect. So enough of me rambling on, let's get into Phase 1. So Phase 1 will jump off with a reboot of the classic Smallville. It'll be a fresh new take on the series, more modern. It would span about 10 episodes. We would get a recap of Clark's childhood, introducing us to a young Clark Kent. The show would take place after high school, so he would be about 18 or 19. This is still his origin story, but he's already discovered his powers and his origin at this time. He trains his abilities as he doesn't want to lose control or hurt anyone. He still hides them, but he does want to use them to help people. But he doesn't, since his parents worry what would happen if he did. We would also get to introduce some other characters, like a young Lois Lane, who's working for the local newspaper, with the goal of making it big and moving to Metropolis. We would also meet other Superman characters that would show up in the future, like a young Lex Luthor, who we learn was childhood friends with Clark all the way up until high school when he found out that he was an alien. At that time, Lex actually thought he was a metahuman. And this sets up the racism that metas will be receiving in this DCU. Now, we also meet a human Victor Stone and Milton Fine who live in the town. I like the idea of introducing these characters as humans, since casual viewers might not know who Milton is. Spoiler alert, it is Brainiac and Victor Stone is Cyborg. They would mostly just be minor cameo roles though. During the first season though, we would also meet another big character moving forward who is already established in this world, Diane as Wonder Woman. She would approach Clark at the end of the first episode and be around for about half the show, to the point where they defeated the main antagonist for that first half of the show, which would be Lobo. I thought Lobo would be really fun because I haven't really seen him done before. He'd be a fun bounty hunter. It'd be really cool. So we're going to do Lobo and Lex will actually be the main antagonists during this time, working with each other, and they're also working with a mysterious group that we wouldn't see until episode 4. And it's revealed to be Faora, I think I'm saying that right, and Non, I also hope that's right, 2 Kryptons who are working for Zod. So after Diane parts from the show, it would focus more on just Superman, who at this time would be known as Superboy. He's actually named by Lois Lane from the Supergirl in Metropolis, a hero who is already existing here. So this is because in this world, both of their escape pods made it to Earth at the same time. It's just that Clark's went off course. So she did become Supergirl before he became Superboy or Superman. These are some of the changes that I felt that most fans wouldn't expect, but will still end up working out, in my opinion, for the better. And jump back real quick, I did want to also mention I had a little scene planned for this show where Diane would go shopping with Martha, so that would be pretty fun, I thought. So after Diane parts though, we would focus more on Clark coming into his own here, and he fights for Aura and Non. He does end up defeating Non, giving him over to the US government. We also get a fight with Clark and Lex in Lex's first super armor suit in one of the final episodes. The second half will also see Clark struggling with telling Lois who he is or keeping it a secret. The final episode would also introduce Supergirl and set up a future project with them and Zod. That would be the end of the Smallville project. I actually have this project as a semi-script for each episode, so if you're interested in more of what a fleshed out project would look like, let me know, and I could definitely make a video diving into each one of these projects, especially this one, since I already have every episode already written out basically as brief descriptions, and it was really fun to do and really cool in my opinion. So this is another project that I put a bit of work into. The second project for Phase 1 would be another show, and since we did Superman, this time we gotta do Batman, but with a twist. It'll be an anthology series, 10 episodes as well, called Gotham Tales. It would introduce a bunch of Gotham characters, each episode focusing on one origin tale. we would have the first episode be The Gordons, focusing on a young Jim Gordon who just got out of the military, his wife, and their infant daughter, Barbara. I do have a semi-script like for Smallville with this one as well, but I'm not going to go too deep into this one as I did with Smallville. If that's something you want to see, though, I would love to make a deep dive on this project as well. It was really fun to write and take my own liberties as a writer. Episode 2 would be about Dr. Freeze and his wife, Nora Freeze, but as an origin story before her illness. Number 3 would be a Scarecrow origin story with him as a teenager. Episode 4 would have 2 future character origins, Two-Face and Penguin as childhood friends to their adult years, setting them up for the Batman movie in Phase 2. Episode 5, one of my favorites, would be about a young Alfred, who is a secret agent working on a case in Gotham that leads him to the Waynes. Episode 6 would be about a young Riddler and his origin. Episode 7 would be about a future villain, Bane, and his origin. And one of my favorites was Episode 8, which would be about Catwoman and Poison Ivy, as well as some other characters. But they are both metahumans in this universe. And they are living in a metahuman orphanage, which was another really fun change. Episode 9 would be about one of the Jokers, but this would be an origin story for a Joker, but there's already a Joker in our Gotham at this time too. It's a fun setup for a future project way down the road. The final episode would be about the Waynes. These episodes would obviously connect as they all take place in Gotham, but this one really brings together the episodes 1, 5, 6, and 9, since the episodes with Jim Gordon, Alfred, Riddler, and Joker all played a role in leading up to this one. This episode will end with setting up Bruce Wayne as Batman for the future. Also, during this show, we learned that Kathy Kane is already Batwoman in Gotham. This project honestly sets up a lot for the future of the Batman franchise within this DCU. Now these next projects I haven't fleshed out as well. The third project of Phase 1, the first of 2 theatrical films that'll be released, Supergirl. I wanted this to set up Supergirl for the future as a big player in multiple projects, but also set up Clark to become Superman while kind of speeding up his story for the future DCU characters I want to introduce. I would also love for Henry Cavill to return to play Zod as a homage to the original DCEU, since he was, in my opinion, one of the better parts of the whole thing. But we do need a young Clark Kent for this film, so he wouldn't be able to play Superman, but that's why I want him to play Zod. The film will see Clark fully become Superman as he is being trained by Supergirl. Aura is defeated at the start of the film, but Zod shows up and defeats the duo, freeing her and Non. Superboy does become Superman after this, and a big fight will break out. At the end, Supergirl will be able to defeat Zod, and Superman is also able to help save the day. Supergirl would say that Superman is ready to protect the world at this point, but she would have to go into space after receiving a distress signal. This will set up her appearance in the second season of an upcoming project. The post-credit scene will also show Clark Kent marrying Lois Lane, who is now going by Lois Kent. And so the fourth project of Phase 1 will be another HBO Max show. This one will be 2 seasons long. I'm not sure if we will do shorter seasons or the same 10 episodes, but the seasons will be filmed back to back so they can be released only a couple months apart. This project will be called Cosmic Adventures. It will be a Green Lantern / Martian Manhunter project. It will start with Alan Scott using his magical ring to fight crime as the Green Lantern. But during a bank robbing, Alan is shot, but we see a young adult Hal Jordan who Alan gives the ring to as he dies, telling him to protect the people and become the Green Lantern. Hal does so, but only to protect his life. This is the only part of the show that takes place on Earth, as this is when Hal meets Martian Manhunter. He would agree to help Hal in space and find the Lantern Corps and learn about his powers. This sets up the cosmic side of the DCU. We would also meet Hawkman and Hawkgirl in space. They would mention Martian Manhunter and them used to be part of the League of Justice on Earth a long time ago, setting up a future project with them that'll be a prequel. Also establishing a group of Justice already existed before the Justice League's formation. So the main antagonist for the first part would be Star Sapphire, who followed Green Lantern from Earth. Shortly into the first season, she would team up with the Red Lantern Arcrodius, and I hope I'm saying that right, who has been attacking planets. So by the end of the first season, Martian Manhunter and Hal Jordan are able to defeat the two, but we also see Carol Furze is able to gain control of the Star Sapphire, and she ends up turning good, joining the team at the end. So season 2 would come out shortly after. I could see doing season 1 and then doing the Supergirl movie and then season 2, Either way, season 2 would have to happen after Supergirl came out. It would open with Supergirl out in space after she did receive that distress call from the end of Supergirl. She would then be attacked by a false Yellow Lantern. It's actually Parallax, who is revealed to be Hal Jordan under the control of the true Yellow Lantern, Sinestro, who is working with Lara Flees, aka Agent Orange. And these three would be the main antagonists for the season. Kind of switching it up, having one of the heroes, main characters of the first season, now being an antagonist for the second season. That's also why we call it Cosmic Adventures, because it's not just about Green Lantern or the Lanterns, as now it is starring Martian Manhunter and Supergirl more so. And so Martian Manhunter and Star Sapphire are able to help Supergirl, and then the three must save Hal. We learned that he was taken over by Sinestro when they arrived at the old Lantern Corp that was in ruins. Now, a big change for this DCU version of the Green Lanterns that I took my own liberties in making, as well as with the other Lanterns, is that there's only one of each. We originally learned that there are 6 rings. There's a green, violet, red, yellow, orange, and blue ring. And these are the only Lanterns that exist. Towards the end of the season, the group is able to save Hal Jordan, though. They are then able to defeat Sinestro and Lara Flees. After the final battle, Hal takes the 3 rings he got from his foes. Then him and Carol go to find the last ring, as well as new members for a new Lantern Corp. We will also see Martian Manhunter and Supergirl interact, and they will mention about how they used to be on a team together on Earth, which is kind of a callback to that team mentioned in Season 1. Okay, and so now we're in the final stretch. This is the 5th and the second to last project in Phase 1. It will be Batman Year 1. Now, I know this was kind of done with the Batman that just came out not too long ago. This one will be for the DCU, but because of that, it will be an HBO Max original film. It will have an opening scene with the child actor from the Gotham Tales show, but the main character who will play a young adult Bruce in this film won't be the same one who plays him in future projects going forward. So the film would open with a child actor from the Gotham show at his parents' funeral, where we jump to him at his parents' grave. He says that he will get revenge for them, and we did learn in the Gotham Tales show that the Riddler is actually the one who killed Bruce's parents in this world, and we get more on why and how that happened later on. We will see Bruce now that he's 18 and he's graduating this year. The clown riots in Gotham are getting worse, as well as the clown gang. It's getting more serious. We do learn that Gordon knows that the Boy Wonder, which is his name at this time, is Bruce. Alfred gets Bruce his own materials to make his own new suit. The film is mostly about him fighting the clown gang in and out of school, and sets up him wanting revenge on the Riddler for killing his parents. While he fights the clown gang, he does hurt them really bad throughout the film, and he almost kills one at one point, but this one he gets some flashbacks to his parents' death. And during this moment of panic, we actually see the original Joker, not the one from the Gotham show, but the one that existed before we saw that origin story in Gotham Tales. That's the one that shows up here to attack Bruce. He does beat him up, and Bruce flees to his parents' grave. This is where he's asking for advice from his parents, and Alfred comes out of the shadows, and it's going to be a really touching moment here where Alfred basically tells him not to let his anger drive him to violence or to revenge, that he should let his anger motivate him to make the world a better place so that people don't have to suffer like he did. Bruce really takes this to heart, and the Joker gang is going to pull a heist, but Bruce stops them without using over-the-top violence for once, and he just apprehends the criminals. The Joker does appear again, though, and attacks him. They get into a fight where Bruce is able to hold his own, but the Joker pulls out a gun and shoots at him, and this is where Bruce has a panic attack and a flashback to his parents' death. But when he comes back through, he realizes it's a joke gun laying on the ground and the Joker has fled. And this just shows that this Joker is more sadistic and twisted and torments Bruce for no reason compared to the one that we met in the Gotham Tales series. At the end of the film, we learn the Joker gang started to die down, but they've never stopped. At the end, we see Batman save a woman and beat up some criminals. When she asks who he is, Bruce tells her that, "I'm Batman." This will be one of the opening scenes for the Batman movie in Phase 2. This is just a fun last-minute project I thought of that will explore Bruce's early years as he became Batman from the Boy Wonder, and it also just sets up more Joker for the future. Now, the 6th and final project of Phase 1. If you stuck around this long, I appreciate it, and I hope you like this roadmap so far. The project will be The Lanterns. It opens with Hal Jordan and Carol Ferris, who have started dating now, and they're on the Interceptor. Martian Manhunter and Supergirl are with them. Hal and Carol, they're going by the Green Lantern and the Violet Lantern now, or she still also goes by Star Sapphire. The opening mostly sets the other characters on their way. We do see a cameo from Miss Martian as a kid, who Martian Manhunter takes to train since he's going to be retiring soon. Supergirl says that she's going to go see her cousin and see how he's handling the new job. We will then meet Brody Walker as the Blue Lantern, going by Saint Walker. A young Sade is also there as the Orange Lantern. They're all heading to Earth to find the new Yellow and Red Lanterns to complete the Lantern Corps. So the movie will focus on the team finding the new Lanterns. But Amon Sur, who is the son of the original Green Lantern, Amon Sur, he tries to steal the Green Lantern ring as he believes that he deserves it, but he ends up getting the Yellow Lantern ring. And he ends up becoming the main antagonist for the film, trying to get the Green Lantern ring. Now, we will also meet an Uber driver in the film, and he's just going to make a joke appearance at first, and his name is revealed to be Guy Gardner. In the final battle, though, he will show back up and picks up the Red Lantern ring and helps Amon until he realizes that Hal is a good guy and that Hal is also the human. And once defeated, Amon sees that he was wrong, but Hal gives him the yellow ring and asks him to join the Lantern Corps, and he agrees, and they set out back into space. Guy Gardner also joins them as the Red Lantern, and then that's where the film ends. But in a post-credit scene, Hal and Carol, they're planning their wedding when we learn that there is 9 power rings, not 6. We learned this from Amon, and he tells us that there is green, violet, red, orange, yellow, blue, but there's also indigo, black, and white. And this will set up the sequel film. Hal asks, aren't blue and indigo like the same? And Armand assures, no, they're not. This is when we get the debut of another really fun character, and I thought this was a cool way to introduce him. So we hear a small voice start talking, and Carol's like, oh, we can't hear you. And then this is when Ray Palmer, aka Adam, will grow back to normal size and be like, I think they're just the same color, they're just blue. And this film will establish like the new Lantern Corps for future adventures. At this time, I don't think that I'm going to have the Green Lantern be part of the Justice League or anything else, or any of them be any other teams other than the Lantern Corps. But I could see them showing up in those projects, and I do have plans for them. So it was really fun to make this first phase and all, and my first video too. Even if it was mostly focused on like Superman and Batman and Green Lantern IPs, it does set up future characters for the individual franchises I had ideas for, as well as team-up projects. I will be making a video here shortly about Phase 2, which in my opinion was way better. I really love Phase 1. It's a great stepping stone. But Phase 2 really sets off with the characters that we know and love and sets up a future that I think you guys will be really interested in seeing. And I do have some more phases planned. I would love to keep bringing you guys these videos if you guys enjoy them and want to see more of them. I also just have some other ideas planned for some other just fun videos not related to a DCU reboot or DC in general. Please let me know what you guys think of this first phase. What are your favorite projects from it? Let me know what you would have done differently, or if this is something that you would actually like to see done with the new DCU that's coming out in the coming years. Don't forget to subscribe and keep up to date with my videos. I hope you guys had a good day, and bye.